the real cost of coal.
At least it is cheap and we need to produce energy quickly.
I'm sure you have heard such claims, but it is all a lie. It is not the best or the cheapest or even the quickest option available. Let me explain. As of the start of 2021, solar and wind are cheaper than coal or gas-fired power stations already in 2/3 of the global energy projects underway. Indeed, in the UK, China, India, Germany, Poland, Morocco, and many, many more, it is now cheaper to build an entire large-scale wind or solar farm than it is to even just keep existing coal or gas power stations running at all. The cheapest solar locations are about to breach the $20 per megawatt barrier, and the cost has not stopped dropping yet. Indeed, we could see another 80% drop in costs by 2030, and that would have costs down below $5 per megawatt. For comparison, wind is currently around the $40 and rapidly declining. Coal is 61 to 112. Gas is 59 to 100 on baseload and 175 on peaker. And they're not getting any cheaper. These gaps will just continue to grow bigger as renewables benefit increasingly from economies of scale and the legacy industries start to see theirs eroded and their large-scale investments become stranded assets. And this is with the currently accepted levelized costs of coal and gas, which make them look even better than they really are. As I've already looked at length in my videos on energy and the great disruption that is coming. And even if you are one of the few places left where coal or gas is cheaper, how long do you think that will last? As the market dwindles, unit costs rise, and all the time wind, solar and batteries are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Can we just bury this idea that coal and gas are cheaper forms of energy? Thank you. So, quicker then. They must be quicker, surely.
Bish, bash, bosh, in and out, job's over, we have loads of energy, really quickly.
Well, no. According to IAEA data, the average construction time for plants with a nominal power below 800 megawatts is about 71 months, or 6 years. While for higher power reactors, the construction time increases an extra 8 months for each increase of 100 megawatts in power. Whereas solar and wind do not even need to wait for the whole farm to be completed. They can be switched on in stages as each batch is finished. And they usually take under a year to construct, maybe 2 for the largest projects. And if you do not already have an extensive grid system in place, it could take even longer to distribute the power, even if it reaches where it's really needed. Solar and wind can be located right next to the centres of need and have no need for large grids. They work very effectively on microgrids, which have much more resilience to unforeseen future incidents. Large power stations are often vanity projects for government officials and cash cows for them and their friends, whilst only supplying more power to areas that already have plenty, and it fails to get to those who it can most benefit, and who are often most impoverished. It could be the difference between studying or not one night, or the factor that prevents widespread respiratory illness, which would then further impoverish someone through an entire lifetime, as well as the country through the medical system. It is not quicker either then. So, if it is not cheaper and it is not quicker, then surely it must be better? How should we quantify better? Well, how about environmental damage? I think we can all agree that coal is not winning any awards there. It could require the removal of massive amounts of topsoil, leading to erosion, loss of habitat, pollution. It causes acid mine drainage, where heavy metals dissolve and seep into ground and surface water supplies. The amount of methane released when mining accounts for 10% of all methane in some areas. Coal mine workers also face serious health problems, including lung disease from prolonged exposure to coal dust in mines. Upon burning, coal produces a number of gaseous products as well. Sulfur dioxide, which contributes to acid rain and respiratory illnesses, nitrogen oxides, which contribute to smog and respiratory illnesses, particulates, which contribute to smog, haze, and respiratory illnesses and lung disease, carbon dioxide, which is the primary greenhouse gas produced from burning fossil fuels, mercury and other heavy metals, which have been linked to both neurological and developmental damage in humans and other animals, and then fly ash and bottom ash, which are the residues created when power plants burn coal and it still has to be disposed of somewhere. Okay, so that wasn't really fair, was it? It's not coal's fault that it's so dirty, it's just the way it was made.
It keeps a lot of people in work.
I hear that said also from time to time. But if you really look at it closely, coal mines were some of the first adopters of autonomous vehicles and remote management of equipment because it was so dangerous and the lawsuits always cost them too much money, and it was the only way they could make it safe. So it's not really about the jobs then either.
We need a regular baseload supply.
They might say that as well, and I would have to agree. Baseload is essential and it can be renewable. Look at the X-Links Morocco UK power project. This will be a new electricity generation facility entirely powered by solar and wind energy combined with a battery storage facility. Located in Morocco, it will cover an approximate area of 1,500 square kilometres and will be connected exclusively to Great Britain via 3,800 kilometres of HVDC subsea cables. It will generate 10.5 gigawatts of zero carbon electricity from the sun and wind to deliver a 3.6 gigawatts of reliable energy for an average 20 plus hours a day. This is enough to provide low cost clean power to over 7 million homes by 2030. Once complete, the project will be capable of supplying 8% of the country's electricity needs with cheap energy, even with the huge investments required. Baseload can be renewable now. Wherever you are in the world, if you have the desire to get it done, you can get it done. The new network of renewable energy hubs planned for the North Sea promises a next generation network of shared resources to smooth out periods of need with those of plenty. So, yes, baseload is not a problem either.
But we have loads of coal.
So, it costs more and it kills you slowly and your environment. And as for those who have built coal-fired power stations recently and don't even have any coal reserves, you've got to import it. Are you completely insane? That makes zero sense. So can we all agree? Coal is dead. It served the 19th century well, and the last one it hung on desperately, but this century it is time to consign it to history for once and for all. Leave the coal in the ground. Let me know your thoughts on new coal-fired power stations below, and hit like if you appreciate this, and subscribe if you want to see more in the future. And as always, Thank you for dropping by.